Guys, this is it. Quickly before we go in, even this is a year late, but this is a year late apology for the hangout I didn't do last season for the Champions League final because I was so pissed off by the disgrace that Juventus put forth. So I actually didn't do a hangout because I was actually unimpressed. So I'm very sorry for how unprofessional I am, but sorry, that's just who I am. But while we're doing a hangout now, because I feel there's a lot to go down. There are a lot of people who want to unsubscribe, people who've insulted me, a guy who racially abused me. So there's been a lot of reaction to what has gone down. We're going to get into it, and we're going to do this thing systematically. But I think there is only one place to start this debate before we delve into what has happened. I'm hearing a background noise. Who's that?
It's Karius driving away.
Oh, okay. Look. Okay. So Ramos and Salah.
Yep. That was malicious.
Okay, no, wait, no. I'm not gonna. No, basically, this is. Let me just give where I stand. I'm just gonna say where I stand, and then we can then give people's views. So I wanna. But before we have this be rapidly, I'm going to give my stance and I'm going to go from left to right and everybody can give their view on where they stand with the challenge. So this is my stance. It's a challenge I see many defenders do. And I wish I could actually pull up many of these instances where as a defender you are sneakily holding the arm of the attacker because he's gotten an extra yard ahead of you and you're trying to pull him down. Now, I want a scientist or a doctor or someone to explain to me how you dislocate the left shoulder of someone by holding their right arm. I don't know if that's scientifically. Wait, guys. Let me just land, and I'll give you guys your chance because people say that they can't hear when is saying. So I want to give everybody a chance to talk, and people don't talk over guys when they talk. So my thing is this: I want someone to explain to me how you can injure someone's left shoulder by holding their right arm. That doesn't make sense. How I saw it was a foul that Ramos was intentionally trying to do, as many defenders intentionally trying to make fouls because they're called tactical fouls. And the way in which Salah landed is what dislocated his shoulder. It was a freak accident. It's happened, but you can't blame Ramos for doing what many defenders do because it's called high professional defending. It's a tactical foul to try and stop the flow of the game and try and stop the flow of the most dangerous man. So let me go to Mane. How did you see the challenge?
I mean, of course he was intentional. He was obviously trying to hurt him. And what you just said, holding somebody's right hand, that's exactly what you need to make them dislocate their left hand. Because when you hold their right hand and they're falling, you're going to turn sideways and you're going to land on your left shoulder. That's what happened. And you can't tell me he didn't know. There's an echo. I can hear. Anyway, you can't tell me when he was landing on Salah, he couldn't know that it was going to injure him. He obviously knew that if you land on somebody at a bad angle, it was going to injure him. And he knows what he's doing, okay? He's a seasoned veteran, professional. He used to do these things to Messi, okay? So it's not, Sergio Ramos is a smart guy. He knows what he's doing, but he does whatever it takes to win, so that's, yeah.
All right, A1.
I don't think it's intentional, to be honest. Because actually, you know what? Yeah, it's what strikers and defenders do, like when they're like tussling and whatnot. And Salah got his arm around Ramos first. If I don't know if anyone saw it. So, you know, I think it wasn't intentional, but because it's Ramos and because it's Salah, who's the best player for Liverpool and how he's on form, and Ramos has got a history of doing that to other players. People are saying no, it's intentional, but I don't think it's intentional, to be honest. It's like what you said, it's what defenders do and what maybe strikers do when they go for the ball. It's like shirt pulling as well. Players will shirt pull with each other. It happens in the game, innit? But hey, it happens to Salah, innit? And because it's Ramos, that's why everyone's saying it's a cheat, yada yada. So.
All right, Abdul.
Yeah, I think the fact that he took him down is obviously intentional. Like, he wanted to stop. It's a tactical foul. He wanted to stop the flow of the game. He got a yard on him. Everyone does that. I think the key to finding out if he actually meant to land on his arm and do that is something very simple. Who had his arm around the other first? It was Salah. So, like, unless you think Ramos is that freaking incredible that in literally 0.2 seconds his brain realized that Salah's hand is around his, and literally, like the only way that could be the case is if Ramos plays, I don't know, MMA or something, because that's the only way your body's gonna register that there's a hand around it, and that it can literally land on the guy's arm that quick. Yeah, you have to be you have to be professional at doing this thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think he brought him down on purpose, but breaking his arm. I don't know.
All right. Daniel.
Yeah, it was on purpose. Like he knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing with Ramos. He knew that Real Madrid knew that by stopping Liverpool, they have to stop Salah. So how they did it? Take out Salah. Ramos after there was even a video after when Salah was coming off, he was smiling like job done.
No.
Yes, he was.
Okay. Wait. We'll get to that. Let's everyone just have their piece, then we can then dissect it. So okay. So all right.
And people are justifying it, saying that if he didn't need to injure Salah, okay, then why did he, when he was falling down Salah's arm on Salah's arm, why did he just let go? He could have just let go.
Okay. All right. Okay, Drifty.
Alright, here we go. By the way, that echo is really annoying, whatever it is. Whoever's causing it.
Yeah, very annoying.
It's extremely annoying. Alright, here we go, yeah.
It might be
It's
double A.
Have Hope, actually.
Yeah, double A.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah.
Oh sugar.
I'm hearing an echo.
Wait, are you still hearing the echo?
No.
Okay, cool. Okay, Drifty, go.
Okay, first of all, that whole who initiated the contact first, don't fucking bring that bullshit to me, okay? When you're running and the defender's there, you put your arm out to feel him, fend him off to defend the ball, yeah? But if somebody then holds that arm and trips you over, listen, that Salah initiated it. I don't want to hear such foolishness. Secondly, I've actually had that exact same injury, but mine was collarbone, and it was done the exact same way. I was running at pace, somebody tripped me over, and I flipped over and landed exactly how he did. I can tell you now, that injury is fucking excruciating. Like, it's actually difficult to literally get off the floor. That is how painful it is, yeah? So I just wanted to say that, because I know a lot of people are saying he should have played through the pain, i.e. Double H himself, but we'll get to that, yeah?
What? Oh my God.
Look, relax. Okay, chill. Bloody
Now, here's the thing. People are saying it's a tactical foul. Did he mean it? Didn't he mean it? I couldn't give a fuck whether he deliberately thought he would break his shoulder or whatever. Listen, if I push you and you fall down the stairs, it doesn't matter whether I meant you to fall down the stairs. You fell down the stairs. The only difference is in court, I'll get manslaughter, not murder. Yeah. So I couldn't give a fuck whether he knew he would break his arm or not. He dragged him to the ground. Therefore, he's responsible for the injury. It's as simple as that.
Okay. Wait. Let's just first hear everyone, and then we can then argue afterwards. Okay. Forward thinking. Make it brief so we can hear everyone. Brief.
Yeah, I've been a Chelsea fan. I've obviously watched Diego Costa for many years. Someone who's a master in the dark arts. Same as Sergio Ramos. This isn't golf. This isn't tennis. It's a contact sport. You can be rough. You can be physical. You're trying to let Salah know that he's going to be in the game. He took it a little bit too far. He got injured, and he ended up being man of the match for his team because he took out their best player and also played a great defensive game. So you can't really complain much at it.
Yeah.
Okay, Juju man.
The Sergio Ramos thing. Salah messed up. I know, Drift, you say the argument is valid. Salah messed up by holding Ramos, and Ramos, he didn't intentionally want to injure, but he did it intentionally where he brought Salah down to the ground. But he didn't want, his true intention. He didn't want to injure him, but it's like it just happened. It wasn't like I'm going to break Salah. But it happened. There was a chance. He knew there was a chance that Salah could be out, but he didn't fully want to take out Salah. So
okay,
I mean. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, Raheem's game. How do you say it?
Salah got his arm onto Ramos first, and the way he fell, it was an awkward angle that Salah was running in. Also, do you really think Ramos went into that challenge thinking I want to take out Salah? No. He knows the consequences of that. He would have immediately received a red for that.
All right, okay.
There's no player in world football has that mindset.
It's not about it.
Star Dragon, wait. Let's okay. Star Dragon, make it brief.
Okay. Ramos tries to pull his arm intentionally. He could have easily released it when he went down, but he thought just to stop the attack and stop Liverpool's attack, he'd slow him down. That's why he knew he was going to bring him down. He could have easily released him.
That's
He was
bullshit, man.
wait,
No,
he's gonna hit the
it's
ground.
true. He could have let his arm go.
That's
Wait,
absolutely bullshit.
No,
If you trip somebody over and hold on to their arm
Salah
while
got
you
his.
trip them over,
Okay, hold
you
on.
know
How are
that
you
they can't
how are you
stop
supposed to
themselves
release?
from falling.
Answer me this.
Wait,
How are you
I'll
supposed to
explain,
release
I'll
someone's
explain.
arm
I'll
while he
explain.
has his arm on you?
Yeah, I'll
How is
explain.
that even a possibility?
No, Andrew.
He didn't have his
Going
arm on
going
him.
into that challenge, you think you can take your arm out in that situation if you're
Yeah,
Salah?
yeah, yeah.
Of course you
It
can.
happens in a split second. Look at the angle
No, it's
Salah was
true.
running in.
No, but
Oh my
It's not
Christ.
about the arm.
It's true.
It's about
It's true. The
how
point
he
is-
landed on it. He landed on it, broke his, dislocated his shoulder.
Listen. When you fall over, yeah, you use both of your arms to stop yourself from hurting yourself. So in order for Ramos to not let go, it's on purpose. Why was he not trying to break his own foot?
I need an answer to this. I need an answer to
You're
this.
saying Ramos intentionally wanted to fall with one arm also?
No,
No, he knew he was going to land on Salah, so it didn't matter whether he had his arms out or not.
Don't be a sore loser, please.
No, it's true.
I'm sorry, that's ridiculous.
Wait, guys.
Says the Real Madrid fan.
Guys, I have a question for Liverpool. Guys, chill. Guys, everybody chill. Because guys, if this cannot be listened to if we just have guys talking over guys. I know you're passionate, but the only way that we can get this to be even listenable is let's get one people talk. So again, let me just ask a question first to Liverpool fans, and then all guys can comment. My thing is this: I need an answer to this. How does Sergio Ramos go into that challenge intending to dislocate the shoulder of Salah? I need that to explain because I don't think.
Okay, it's simple. It's simple.
It's not a computer game.
Guys, one at a time. So I'm going to go to Mane, Drifted, and Jojo Mane.
I mean, you don't have to hurt somebody. You don't have to intentionally think about you're going to hurt him. You just have to not put an effort into preventing somebody from getting hurt. Meaning, say a rock is falling on your head, okay, and you're watching somebody else, a rock falling on their head. You don't have to think about hurting him. You can just do nothing. That is, Ramos just fell on him like a sack and didn't even try to prevent the injury. That's the thing. He did not try to prevent Salah from getting injured. If he wanted to, he could have tried to hold back.
Apparently, Ramos has
I have to go in order. So remember, like when I say the order, you go so Drifty, then Rahimski, Drifty.
Yeah, listen, I second everything that was just said. Yeah, when you don't stop the injury from happening, it is your fault the injury happened. If he didn't hold on to him as long as he did and land on top of him, listen, watch that again. Salah's actually lucky his right arm isn't broken, because the way Ramos landed on his right arm, it's actually surprising his right arm isn't the one that was more injured than the left arm. So regardless of whether, listen, it's not a computer game. He didn't go, right, what injury do I know give him? Select, boom, all right, play game. Of course it wasn't like that. But he knew there was a chance Salah was going to be hurt from what he was doing, and
you're
he didn't try to avoid it.
You're making it sound like Ramos is Jackie Chan. He has no idea how to see that.
Jujuman then Rahimski, guys. Jujuman then Rahimski.
The point Mane and Drifty made are true, but they're missing one key point. Ramos, I agree with everything they say, but Salah made a huge mistake by holding Ramos. That's the key. He made a huge mistake by holding Ramos. When he did that,
he fended him off. He
No.
didn't hold him. There's a difference.
He held Ramos.
How does holding have anything to do with dislocating a shoulder?
Because he's the first one that he held his hand. And he was the one that was holding Ramos. And Ramos was like,
that has no meaning to dislocating a shoulder.
I said I was going to go to Rahimski. So Rahimski, say your pick.
I mean, let's be honest. You guys must think Ramos is Bruce Lee in order to see that in real time. Like, this isn't the Matrix. This is football. Someone gets an arm onto you first, and you try to make a challenge. You're both gonna fall. He can't see that happening in real time.
So why did
you can control how you fall on somebody?
We're not going to agree with this. So let's just move on from this because we'll spend too much time on this topic. Maybe we can go back to it. But there are many different things I want to cover. Next thing I want to cover Karius. Now,
Oh my god.
now look,
Oh
I'm
my
going to
gosh.
come out and say this right now, and I want someone to refute what I'm about to say. The first mistake from Karius is the worst goalkeeping mistake I've ever seen.
Yep.
I want someone to refute that for me because because basically I was having an argument with guys I was watching with, and the guy said, "Oh no, like it's almost as bad as Ulreich for Banning." I said, "No, it's not.
No,
The one for Ulreich, you misjudged it.
No, I
How?
think.
Wait, guys, let me land.
No. That
How
all
the
right
hell
one
do
is
you
fucking
throw the ball
ridiculously shocking.
to a striker that is a yard away from you?
You know what?
That is the worst goalkeeping mistake I've ever seen in my life.
No, it's because Karius underestimated Ben. He thought he was some fat guy that can all that is not quick.
No.
Benzema's
Judgment,
reaction-
there's no explanation. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
no,
You cannot explain that. There is no explanation.
Yes, Double A. He tried to throw it quick before Benzema reacted. Benzema just read it. Benzema read him before. Karius thought he was smart by just trying to throw it quick before Benzema reacted. But Benzema reacted too quickly. He was shocked. It just reacted. Benzema reaction was too fast.
I mean, look. My thing is this: is that Karius, his career is, as far as Liverpool, it's over, because I'm seeing a lot of stuff online about how Liverpool fans have forgiven him. They're gonna give him another chance. He's a young person.
Nah, man.
I'm sorry, man.
It's unforgivable, man.
First of all, you can't make two, because see, I compare this to what Donnarumma did in the Coppa Italia final, but the difference is that yes, Donnarumma also made 2 howlers. They were not as bad as this, and Donnarumma is a billion times better than this flipping brick.
Yeah.
So my thing is that, let me be real with you, and this is what I said when I watched the match, and I've always been sort of thinking this. Mignolet doesn't make that first mistake. He may make the second one. Mignolet doesn't make that first mistake. So was it right to keep with Karius? Was Karius really making more or less mistakes than Mignolet? Because in my view, I've seen both keepers. For me, I would say that Mignolet, he makes mistakes, but I think he's a better keeper than Karius. So should Mignolet have started the game?
No,
they're both awful.
Karius is a worse goalkeeper than Mignolet overall, but Mignolet had made so many mistakes. There was no turning back. He didn't deserve to be in goal anymore.
To be honest,
it got to the point where it was like, you might as well just play Karius because he's made less mistakes than Mignolet.
And
but both of them are absolute dog shit. And Klopp needs to take full responsibility for not replacing either of them.
Klopp, to me, can I say something? I feel like, and another thing that Klopp really annoyed me is that I don't know why he didn't allow Danny Ward to go on loan to Huddersfield.
Exactly.
To see if he can handle it in the Premier League, and then.
Whoa, Danny, your mic is going off. Your mic is going off. Okay.
The thing is one thing about Karius.
Let me get your take on this now. For Karius, what should he do now? What's the next step?
It's done.
Retire.
Like, he can't. There's no coming back from this. I just don't think he can.
This is the biggest L that you could ever take in the history of football.
He should go on loan. Go on loan, prove yourself, and then come back. That's all you got to do.
Can I tell you something that's gonna piss you off if you're a Liverpool fan? Regardless of whether we buy a goalkeeper, Karius ain't going nowhere. I guarantee you he's backup. If we buy another goalkeeper, Mignolet will be the one that leaves. Karius is going nowhere. We better get used to the fact that this donut will be between the sticks of Liverpool at some point in the future.
That's I'm telling you. For me, I find that ridiculous because there is no like because this is high level for football, and the thing that a narrative I really hate is that he's young, he tried really hard, man. Like he'll bounce back. No, I'm sorry, you can't make mistakes like that in a Champions League final. That's career ending. That's career ending.
Listen,
but if you look at the mistake
when he was walking off, people was like, don't get me wrong, I'm a very compassionate person outside of football, so when I saw him crying, there was a part of the human side of me that was like, fucking hell, man, what is he feeling? What he must be feeling, etc. So I get that, like, don't get me wrong, I get that, but my football head has to be on here. Fuck the compassion, you ruined the year of my life, shit. That's what you just done. You just ruined a year of my. You wasted a year of my life, should I say? Yeah, because this season has ended up being nothing when it could have been so much because of you, literally single-handedly throwing away the Champions League.
All right, okay.
So you know what? There's no forgiveness for this. There's no forgiveness for this.
Okay.
Wait.
Let's move on. I want to bring in another element now. So we've got to talk about Chief Igwe beast mode. Like, guys, that goal, because look, let me be real with you. Aesthetically, technically, the Zidane goal is still the best goal in a Champions League final.
I disagree.
No, okay. Let me give you my argument. Because I think once you play football, you really know Zidane did that from a standing position. Do you know how difficult it is to volley from a standing position? That's crazy. But my thing about the beast mode thing is, it's the story. He's not wanted. Okay, fair enough. He's had injuries, but still, he's been unwanted. The Real Madrid fans want him out. Linked with Manchester United, wasn't a starter. And I think when he saw how Real Madrid were playing, Isco wasn't working. He comes on from the bench. I think this must have been the first or second touch. And that Marcelo ball is really a nothing ball. And to do, because again, Cristiano was crazy, but he did that in a quarterfinal. To do this in a final, just has been a, like, Bale, man, this, like, what this guy can do, this guy's ability just to, because again, that's why I say he is not like a player like an Isco or an Iniesta. But as far as effectiveness and impact, this guy can just do stuff that is just mind-boggling. And I think that, because a guy was saying, oh, Carriage could have saved that. No. That G was fully going in. So my thing is this, is that
I think Neuer or someone out that might have got a better chance.
No one.
It's too crazy. Because, like, remember, it looks, because when you see it in slow motion, like, oh, he could have done better. But remember, this is fast and quick and vast. And Marcelo gave such like a nothing thingy ball, and to just do that, it's like it's very hard to react to it in that kind of way. So
no, I'm not blaming Karius for it, but I'm just saying a better goalkeeper. There's a possibility that maybe he'll do more with it. That's what I'm saying.
No, because that's the second time I've seen that from Karius, where he hasn't stretched out or like made an effort.
He didn't make an effort.
It's not like he was going to do anything. I mean,
but
he was top corner.
I'm a goalkeeper. I would have done a full dive.
No, you cannot stop those ones. Like, did you see how it was like, too fast? You cannot stop those ones.
Listen, giving up
just make an effort for no reason.
I don't make the type of saves. Like, does anyone remember that save that Czech made when the ball got in and Coit got the perfect connection, and it was a goal. It was a goal, and somehow Czech outstanded his other arm and made the save around the post. You see, if that was Karius, he gives up and it goes in. So there's a difference between those goalies that never give up and the goalies that just accept defeat. Karius accepted defeat. That's all I'm saying.
That's the second time I've seen Wanyama's goal and that goal. That's the second time I've seen him do that, where, you know, instead of like extending your arm to at least make an effort, he didn't do that. He just thought, oh, it's gone in, man. I'll just leave it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, you can't do that.
If we, I mean, like, looking at the, okay, let's look at that third goal. And my thing is this, is that
that's a training goal. That's something in training where people are coming into training. You just kick the ball.
But seriously, this is why Karius needs to think about becoming a chef or a cleaner, because the thing about this is no, a chef.
How can you be a chef if you drop boiling water on yourself? You're fucked.
No, fine. It's your fault. Okay, it's your fault. So my thing is that this is the ABC that you learn from goalkeeping.
Yep.
If a ball comes at you at pace and it is swerving, you punch it. You don't try to catch a ball coming at you at pace that is swerving. Crazy.
Double H, he didn't try to catch it. He tried to palm it.
And that's
tried to palm it. His hands are
do
so weak that he couldn't even palm a 40-yard shot.
And guys, and you need to realize he done that against Roma as well with the Dzeko shot, but it luckily went over the bar. So this guy is not learning from his mistakes. He's not learning from his mistakes.
He's made of rubber. He is actually Like, listen. Fuck it up. Even you lot are just bringing about all the memories. I told you, I didn't eat before this hangout. I'm hungry. So, like, I am just raring. This Karras guy, I'm never speaking about him again after this hangout. Like, I'm so done with this guy. Like, now you don't understand. If I see the lineup and he's playing, I'm switching off and finding out the result later. I am not watching this guy again.
No, okay. So wait. So now let's move on to this, and I think this is something that I think a lot of people will disagree on. They did it. I warned people, but they did it 3 in a row.
Yeah, by cheating.
No, wait. The very fact that they've done 3 in a row, we have to put them in the conversation, because I know a lot of guys are going to say they got lucky. They cheated.
They did
that. But guys, at the end of the day, no, wait. I'm sure. At the end of the day, they won 3 in a row. That's a fact. And also, my thing is that luck can't make you win 3 Champions League titles in a row. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't compute. How does luck let you
make you win 2?
Bribes can.
It can make you win 2 in a row. If you make luck. Of course, because there's a red card in the Juventus game. Game's finished from that moment. And then for Karras to make the 2 howlers that he makes, of course it's luck.
Bayern, can I say something? Bayern Munich here should have had a penalty.
Nah. I don't even like Madrid, but you have to give them credit. We cannot just. They were the best team. They were the best team. They deserve everything. They were the best team.
Dominated Real Madrid. Go and watch it.
Yeah, but the thing about
wait, guys, chill. Wait. Let me put out the question here, so we'll just hear from left to right, and one by one we can talk. So the question is that based on these guys winning 3 in a row, 4 in the last 5 years, where does this Real Madrid team rank amongst club sides of all time? Let's start with Mane.
Well, it's very simple. They didn't have a perfect season. You have to win every trophy, every competition you're in. Otherwise, you can't compare yourself to a team that has won everything they entered. Okay, it's fine. You won 3 in a row in 3 seasons, 3 campaigns, winning the same trophy. But that doesn't make you better than a team that in 1 season accomplished much more than you did. So it's very simple. Barcelona is still the best club side ever. And it's no debate, because winning 3 in a row over 3 seasons is not the same as winning 6 titles every competition in 1 season. That's what makes you the best.
That's easy.
Okay, wait. Okay, A1.
Hey,
Daniel, relax. A1.
Relax. I agree with what Mane said. Like, because they clearly knew that the season's done, so they put all the effort into the Champions League, and obviously some games they're just playing their second team, and they've also done that as well, not last season but the season before. But for them to be they are great, but for them to be up there, they have to be winning, obviously the league as well in their country, maybe the Copa del Rey as well, but obviously Champions League as well. So I want to say they're one of the greatest, but maybe greatest Champions League teams, yeah, cool. But when it comes to like club teams, they're good, but because the whole fact that they focused on the Champions League in 2 of the seasons, and 1 of the seasons they've done the double, I just can't put them up there as one of the greatest, man.
Daniel, hit me.
No, like, because they were like they put all their eggs into that Champions League basket, like, because their title defense died in December, so they were like, "Bun the league, we're not gonna win the league, so let's go after the Champions League." So that's how it was. So to me, Barcelona.
All right, Drifts.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing, if I'm analysing the season as a whole of this one, I mean, obviously the other 2 seasons I can't exactly remember how it went, but analysing this season, don't get me wrong, they won it. And there's no hating involved in regards to like just thinking about the whole competition as a whole. They won it, innit? They had to get there. They did face like a lot of difficult sides along the way. But all of the games I remember, I don't remember any dominance. I always remember a moment where you're like, oh, Real Madrid caught a blind there and all that. It's not like they just go through, they win, there's no controversy, and they just do it, yeah? And as well, that Barcelona team is so true. You get 6 trophies in 1 season, it's unquestionable whether anyone else is better than that team. Like, it's unquestionable. You can't even, there's not even any point having a conversation. So they're a great Champions League side with a lot of luck and a lot of favours that always seem to go their way in the Champions League, but they'll never be better than that Barcelona side.
All right.
Okay, forward thinking. Hit me.
First point, they won 5 in one season. The one cup that they didn't win was the Super Cup, so I don't know what the difference really is between 6 and 5 in that terms. Secondly, greatness is perceived by what you do over a period of time, successive feats of success. Arsenal were invincible for one season, United won the treble, but this Real Madrid team have won Champions League back to back, as well as a league title, beating the champions of Germany, champions of France, champions of wherever. We already know. So I don't see how everyone can be so salty and hate on that. Oh, they were lucky this game. They were lucky that game. Controversial. They beat these teams on a regular basis. I don't get the controversy here. Definitely.
Exactly.
Can I say something?
Wait. I'm gonna go to Abdul because you missed it. So the question is this: is that based on Real Madrid's achievements, 3 in a row, 4 out of 5 years, where does this club side rank amongst the all-time club sides of all time? Abdul. Okay, his mic's not working. Jujuman.
All right. First of all, the arguments that are made against Madrid, there wasn't any controversial. Okay, teams dominated Madrid, but guess who made the least mistakes? No, I'll finish. Guess who made the least mistakes? Madrid. That's why they won. You can be the best dominating team, but it's a goals business. And the other thing is, this people talk as if this is the easiest thing to do to win Champions League. I tell any team in the world, put all your eggs in one basket and go for the Champions League. Let's see if you win. Just sacrifice the league like Man United did and other teams have tried, and go for the Champions League and try and win it once. We're not even talking 3. Try and win it once. So this is not easy. And the fact that people are you cannot hate Madrid just because you don't dislike the team. Like you have to at times you have to just raise your hands and say these guys are good. Like they won the hardest club competition. They beat everyone. Like they had the hardest group.
Okay, all right, Rahimski.
I mean, some of the guys are saying that we're not the greatest club side ever because we didn't win the Copa del Rey. Like, just let that sink in for a second. HH, at this point, you're asking me to defend my team. I don't have to say anything. Like, I don't have to say shit. We're the best team in history, and that's it. I don't have to say.
What have you been smoking?
Okay, look,
What are you
relax.
smoking?
Okay, wait. Sad Dragoon. Sad Dragoon. How do you see it?
I think they're up there, but I wouldn't say they're the greatest. I mean, from December, they pretty much pulled out the second team for most of their games. Ronaldo was resting for most of their games. In a normal league season, you can't rest your best player for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Same as United, but United didn't win.
Okay. Wait. Let's sort of revert back to the first topic, but from a different angle. If Salah remains on the pitch, because my thing is this now. This is what I said in my post-match. Football doesn't work this way because a lot of guys were saying that, my gosh, look at how well Liverpool were playing. Look at how they were dominating. They had Real Madrid captain. If Salah was on the pitch, they would have easily won. Guys, come on. We've seen this a million times before. Matches ebb and flow. Liverpool would have had their domination, but Real Madrid would have come back in the game. But let's just put this out there. If Salah was on the pitch over 90 minutes, do you say Liverpool would have beaten Real Madrid in 90 minutes? 100%. If Salah was on the pitch?
There's a very big possibility.
I mean, it's not even about Salah.
Wait. What did it say? Okay, I'm going to go to Drifty Daniel, then Mane, Drifty.
I'm after.
There's a possibility. To sit here and be stupid enough to say that a team as good as Real Madrid are, we would have just won. Of course we would, and what have you. But there's a very, very good possibility we could have. And the first half an hour, the first 25 minutes is the indicator of that. Yeah, the game would have changed. Second half, game of 2 halves, all that kind of stuff. What we need to remember, just about Salah, it was about the system we play, and it was about the fact that everything changed when he went off. So it wasn't just about him being on the pitch anymore. It was also about the system, how much it affected us. And we're like, change everything now that was working. Now we've got to do this, we've got to do that. And just one thing I want to say. City of Mane never got the red card. Everyone was like, you're chatting shit, shut the fuck up, rare. What did we do on the 3 other occasions we played Man City? We fucked them. Why? Because we had 11 on the pitch. So you know what? I'm within my right to say 11. Salah stays fit. plays that whole game, could have won that match.
Wait, so Drifty, so Liverpool is a one-man team. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Drifty,
we're a
by the way.
system, and he is a main part of the system.
So
If
it's a
so-
one-man team. There's no explanation
No,
why.
it's
Next,
one man.
next.
If Mane had got injured, it would have been the same thing. If Firmino would have got injured, it would have been the same thing. They're all part of a system. It wasn't just the fact it was Salah, it was the fact that we lost a player in the system. And remember, if Oxlade-Chamberlain was fit, which obviously is another unfortunate thing, we could have played very similar because he could have done similar things to what Salah does. He's got pace, he drives, he can carry the ball. It was because we had to bring on a player who is so different and doesn't suit that system and change everything, which is what affected us. So, yeah, Salah going off is a major factor with Real Madrid taking that title. It's a major, there's no one can deny that. No
I don't
one.
know if I would say major.
So wait, let's bring in. So I'm gonna go to Daniel, then Mane, then A1. So Daniel.
Yeah, like I think possibly because like we they didn't have a shot till they didn't have a shot until Salah went off. So like we were dominated. Trent Navas saved Navas Trent had a shot saved from Navas. So we were on the front foot. So it until that happened. So like we were on the front foot. We were on the front foot.
Okay.
You know, Real Madrid didn't leave their third of the pitch for 25 minutes,
Yeah,
right?
but yeah, that's true. You guys done it.
All right.
Okay. So let's bring in Mane.
Okay. Well, I would say Salah going off, of course, affects him as their best player. I wouldn't say that's the reason they lost. They didn't lose because of Salah. Well, it took some time for Mane to adjust because he was being too defensive at first. He wasn't pushing up enough. That was causing Marcelo to attack. But I can't say it's because Salah was not there. And the other thing, too, Liverpool were close the entire game. You can see even the second goal when Mane scored after the Lovren header. And then after the Mane hit the post, you could see it wasn't – you couldn't say that Liverpool were completely out of the game. They were still in there, and they had a solid chance. They were – I think I would even go as far as to say they were going to win if not for Karius. It's not even about Salah. They would have won either way. If Karius hadn't made those mistakes, that's what killed them, especially after Bale scored that. And then after Bale scored that, they lost all their passion. And they could have scored a second one to tie it back, but after the Karius made that mistake and punched it into his own goal, that's when
it just killed all the confidence that we had. Like it was just like that final stab in the back kind of thing.
A1.
Oh yeah, like obviously you can't say Liverpool won or not, but Salah was dangerous because Marcelo wasn't advanced as much when Salah was on the pitch, but when he came off the pitch, even though it wasn't a typical Marcelo performance, but he was a bit further up, if you know what I'm saying. So Salah, and you know Salah how he is, like he's always a problem, or whether he's in the game or not, whether he's silent, you know Salah's on the pitch, and if he gets the ball and he's in the right area, he'll score in it. But I think him coming off was like a big problem because like what they said before, that Lallana came on, he's not really used to that system. They don't have winger, they don't have any wide players, so there's not really that much danger behind there as well on the wings for Liverpool. So it'll make it a bit easier for Real Madrid as well. So,
all right, so now let's talk about Zidane. Because a lot of people said he's a crap manager, he doesn't do tactics, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, he just says go out and play and just points. Guys, he's won the World Cup as a player. He's won the Euros as a player. He's won the Champions League as a player. I believe he's won the league as a player as well. He's won the La Liga as a manager, and he has won 3 Champions League titles as a manager.
More than Pep.
Wow.
More than Pep. So where does this rank Zidane amongst the figures in the game? Because in my view, he's only just below Beckenbauer.
Oh my God! Seriously, one league title.
I would agree. With that.
No. Mane, did you forget what he's won as a player? Guardiola never won a World Cup as a player.
That doesn't matter. Has no influence of how you are as a coach. Who cares what you did as a player?
No. I'm talking. No. Listen to what I said. where does this put him as a figure in football? Not as a manager.
I mean,
as
listen,
a figure in football.
Regardless of what you feel about Zidane, he won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. Like, what can you really say about that?
He did. He won one league
what can you
title.
really say?
Do you know what? I'll tell you what I'll say. I'll tell you
title.
what I'll say about that. I'll say the exact same thing everyone says to all the other people. Go to another team and prove you can do it with someone else. Then I'll give you ratings. I'll say something. I'll say that typical bullshit that people always say about other great managers or players or whatever. Go and do it at some other team and then I'll rate you.
Zidane didn't spend any money, so I don't know what you're saying. He didn't spend any.
People act like we spend a lot of money. Like Liverpool spent
Hold on a minute.
It's not
How much
about
money
spending
did you
money.
spend to actually create that team in the first place, though?
but I mean, we've literally barely spent money these.
We've got a net spend of 18 million. We've got a net spend of 18 million.
You're making it seem like Liverpool is Stoke City or something.
That's kind of a misconception because teams buy in certain periods. They just don't buy every year. Like when you say Pep Guardiola spent 400 million, he spent it 400 million.
We put the right pieces in place. So what can you really say?
Exactly. So he didn't need to spend. Don't act like it was
Zidane his credits. That's what I'm like.
I told you he can have his credit when he goes and does it with another team.
I'll give him his credit.
Drifty, you praise Guardiola for that same reason.
Zizou has won a World Cup as a player, a Euro as a player, a league as a player, Champions League as a player, Champions League as a manager. I'm talking about the accolades. Mourinho hasn't won anything as a player. Guardiola never won a World Cup as a player. Guardiola never won the Euros as a player. I'm sorry, Zidane is a greater figure in football than Mourinho, than Guardiola, than a lot of people. And apart from Beckenbauer, there's nobody higher.
Yeah. And that's the thing. No one forgets to mention about Guardiola is he's not won a Champions League since leaving Barcelona. So I mean, did he inherit a good team?
So let's see Zidane do that then.
So what?
Let's see Zidane leave Real Madrid and go and win the Champions League with someone else.
I can make an argument. Guardiola wins the league because he has the squad depth. He has squad depth and he has.
That's not true. It's nothing. That's the biggest myth. Squad depth has nothing to do with winning the league title. Well, very little, not nothing.
That don't make sense. Every team's got squad depth. So what do you mean by he wanted to? He played Delph at left back. He played Delph at left back.
No, why did he win the Champions? He spent like almost half a billion already.
Winning the league is more impressive.
Wait. You're saying he spent $500,000 this and that, right? You look at the players he bought. Were they all world class, or did he buy players who were raw and?
He's the one that spent the money. He's the one.
Juju, he bought 15 players, man.
You're not answering my question. Is that because Drifty? I get where you're coming from. I'm like, okay, he needs to do it at a different club, but you're missing what I'm saying. Zidane is not nowhere near a good manager as Guardiola, as Mourinho, as Ancelotti, as Allegri. I'm not saying that. I'm saying as far as what a figure has achieved in football.
Listen. First of all, yeah, because I'm still in my feelings. Zidane can fuck himself. But if you really want to break it down, yeah, Zidane is way at the top of the list. I'm not going to say he's like the best, but yeah, he's at the top of the list. Of course he is. Look what he's won in football. Not to mention he was a phenomenal baller as well. So like, yeah, of course he's in the conversation. You know what I mean? But you can't really ask me questions like that when I'm in my feelings. He can fuck himself. Seriously, like Zidane can fuck himself.
Okay, no. But what I will say though is that in terms of Liverpool, I think because this is what I always said is like if I was a Liverpool player, the best thing, beat me 5-0, outplay me. Like what happened to Juventus is the best way to lose. You got beat up. You got shanked.
No. It's not better, but what it does is it doesn't leave you with all the what ifs that we're left with now. We're left with so many what ifs, and what ifs are the hardest things to live with. No, because you don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want to come out the game and everyone goes, right, you didn't even deserve to be there. You were just like a waste of space.
Okay. Let me qualify by what I said better. By better, I mean that it's easier to take that loss. Nobody wants to lose a final. No one does. But if you get beat 4-1, you get outclassed. You're like, it's pains, but one, we got beat by the better team. But Liverpool matched Real Madrid all the way. Like, in 90 minutes, Real Madrid didn't really show they were the superior team to Liverpool.
That's true.
Like, obviously, in the second half,
I can't wait for the Champions League. I hope we draw them in the group.
Daniel, relax, chill. Let's not go too far. But in the second half, you now saw, because remember, like, a guy was saying to me that, man, aren't Liverpool going to make any subs? I'm like, bruh, that's the issue. Real can bring on flipping beast mode or Asensio. Liverpool can only bring on a dude called Solanke or flipping Ings. And that is where
wasn't even on the bench.
Oh, thank you. So basically, I think, but the thing is that why it's so painful for Liverpool is that it was close. It was a close game, and it's a shame that Salah went off because I'm not convinced that Liverpool would have won with Salah on, but it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting to see the game because Real have shown that they don't have to play well to beat you. They don't have to.
They've got different options.
Messi said it.
Do you know what? I tell you what.
Another thing I was impressed by Liverpool is, I have to admit, like, I thought these guys were bums, but they're good.
Exactly. And by the way, you have to apologize to Henderson. I mean, these guys held their own. It wasn't like their midfield was far in. I didn't even think they were inferior to Real Madrid's midfield. It was a battle, and both had their times, but it wasn't anything like.
I mean, no. I think in the second half we saw the gap in quality.
It wasn't. It wasn't showed in the scoreboard. The scores were the gap was only seen because of Karius. Otherwise, you couldn't see any gap in quality. Really.
Of course, it's spot on. If you
I actually just realized something.
You would have never said that Cruz and Modric were
I just realized something.
Milner and Henderson.
The reason everyone in this hangout is hating is because we're simply the best ever.
No, we're not.
There's no hate.
When you think of the Lakers, if you're not a Lakers fan,
you're not. No, we're not. No.
You're like the.
We're just saying the truth, and you just can't handle it.
Oh, no, I mean, you can't handle that we're better than you.
I think,
you're not. You weren't better than us in the game, cuz.
No. At the end of
3-1.
Wait. At the end of the day, like, that's why, it's the results business, and which is why for Liverpool it is annoying because you are so close. But at the end of the day, which is why I say we have to, because the thing about the Real Madrid thing is that, in my view, the best club side I've seen is between the Inter Milan side and the Bayern Munich side of 2013.
Oh, really? Of course you would say that. Of course he would say that. Barcelona hater.
And they had a lot of favorable
Barcelona hater.
Because
live up to your name.
No. Look, they were good, but slightly overrated. I mean, they had a lot of calls against them, and Mourinho's team beat them up. He beat them up. So my thing. Wait, let me land. Damn. My thing is that, I'm sorry, an achievement is an achievement. It may have been ugly, it may not have been fully pretty, but I warned you guys. I warned you. I said that if you allow this team to win the most elite club competition 3 times in a row, it demeans the competition. Real Madrid have disrespected the elite club competition, and all other teams have to be ashamed of themselves. They have to be. Because people talk about, Barcelona, look at how good, 6 trophies. If you're so good, win the elite competition two times in a row. If you're the best, win the most elite competition twice in a row.
Win the league.
La Liga has Elche in it.
Have hope. If you're so good, win the league title 4 years in a row. How about that? How about that?
With the Elche?
No. Yeah, but the league title, I mean, we saw the
it's much harder to win the league 4 years in a row than to win Champions League 3 times in a row.
Preach. Listen, the Champions League is a phenomenal tournament and it's a great thing to win. But 38 games is a way more difficult thing to do
If you say it's not, that means La Liga is a nothing.
Live forward.
Hold on. The reason why Drifty's saying this, as a Liverpool fan, they haven't got the consistency to compete over 38 games against smaller teams. They don't break those teams down consistently. The reason why teams consistent in the reason why Barcelona and Man City are consistent in their league is because they're actually better than breaking down teams who actually sit back in a low block. Real Madrid have actually had to compete. I don't even like Real Madrid, to be honest, but you have to give them their props. They beat the best teams consistently over 4 times over 5 years. I mean, you can't.
It's still not more impressive than winning the league 4 years in a row.
Yeah, I think we have to give Madrid. Yeah. we have to give Madrid credit because they beat the champions of like they had a tough road. It's not like they faced no one. Like they faced the best of the best.
Champions of France, champions of Italy.
Yeah,
champions
they had
no one's
big deal. Lucho Enrique did that, and nobody cared about that. Now
Yeah,
we
but he
care
did
about
it
he
in
being
one
the
season.
champions.
This is 3 years in a row.
They didn't 3 years in a row. They faced the champions every year. Yeah, they didn't do that.
They beat Bayern.
I just hope you guys won't be
good teams.
embarrassed when you listen to this hangout again in a few years.
I will never be embarrassed.
Some of the shit you're saying
Real
is fucking
Madrid.
ridiculous. Like,
Nobody's discrediting Real Madrid
Actually
for what they've
ridiculous,
done, but nobody can say Champions League is harder to win 3 years in a row than the league is.
Exactly.
Like if you are actually saying that, you're actually
All right,
just
man. All
no.
right,
You're
man.
only saying that because you're a Real Madrid fan.
Wait,
You're only saying that because you're a Real Madrid
Andrew,
Wait.
Andrew, if you
Let
say
me
that,
respond to that. because you
Just
said that.
listen to what you're saying right now.
Wait. Let me respond to
You didn't even know when Real Madrid
because you just said that winning the league 3 times in a row is a lot harder than the Champions League in a row. Now, several teams have defended their title in La Liga multiple times. I'm sure if you go back in history, they've won it 3, 4 times in a row. First of all, Real Madrid were the first team ever since the Champions League was formed to defend their title. And they went one step further by doing it 3 times in a row. And they're the first team to do so. Isn't that something?
Yeah,
it's still not harder.
But that's
It's
not
still
what the
not
question
harder.
is.
Just because it's more common, does it?
PSG have won it 3 times in a row. Bayern Munich have won it freaking 7 times in a row.
Well, have hope. This is the back argument for that. You're the one that says La Liga is technically the best league in the world, right? So if it's the best
When
league
did I
in
say
the
that?
world, winning it 4 times in a
When
row,
did I
is
say that?
you said that. You said that many times. You said
Have I?
Premier League. This is what he said. He said.
Prove
He
it.
said Premier League is the most entertaining league, but he said La Liga is technically the best league in the world. So it's either La Liga is not as good of a league or that is an incredible.
So what's the best league then? What's the best league?
No, you cannot wait, guys. We cannot say like the league competition are difficult when teams are going 10 years in a row, almost winning a league 10 years in a row, and we're saying it's harder to win the league. And look, at United won three Premier Leagues in a row from I think 06 or 07 to 09, and they won 3 in a row, and we can't say that no team in history has
That's
ever
why
won.
Fergie is the greatest of all time.
Champions League.
Do you want to know the only reason why? Do you want to know the reason why it's harder to win the champ? Do you want to know why teams who win the league consistently don't necessarily do it in the Champions League as well? Because to win the league takes a lot out of you, and to do both
that's false.
takes even more out of you. Real Madrid haven't won the league.
They can't win the league and they can't win the Champions League.
Yeah, I tell you why. Drifty.
But what's that got to do with what we're talking about? Why have Real Madrid not won the league while they've won the Champions League?
How
come they won the Champions League?
Why haven't you won the Premier League?
No, Drifty, I tell you.
Because my team doesn't have every single best player on the planet.
Well, we don't either, though. I mean, you're
Of
making
course you do. Listen, Real Madrid created their own. Listen, Real Madrid Real Madrid get the respect for creating who they have become. Yeah, they've become the best team through credit and hard work. I'll give them that. But at the same time, the reputation they have now gets them any player they want. They get the best pickings from around the world. They're like the Harlem Globetrotters of football. So if they don't win and they've got literally every single one of the best players in the world.
Andrew, my point.
You have the best attack in Europe, and you can even challenge for the league.
They don't have the best attack in Europe. Andrew, my point is...
You couldn't even challenge for the league with that attack. What do you want me to say?
Andrew, my point was simple.
We beat the best team in the league with that attack.
You do realize if Van Dijk could have been at the club from the summer, not December,
that's the
he actually could have won the league.
It's a lot of ifs and buts. It's a lot of ifs and buts with Liverpool, but without it, we just get it done.
It's the truth.
So why was Real Madrid so poor in the league this season?
No. Wait, Drifty, I'll tell you.
I mean, you're acting like we didn't almost just treble last season.
But why did you finish third?
No, I'll tell you why. You know what? People are not appreciating. We might never see a team win 3 Champions League in our lifetime.
We probably won't.
Realize that.
We probably will. It's not the first. Liverpool won the European Cup 3 times in a row.
It is the first time that a team has won 3 times.
Champions League, but not European Cup. European Cup. It was done before. Liverpool did it.
But no, but modern times. Modern
No. We're talking in the modern era where like teams are
So it's
lots
not the first time a
but
team
you wanna
won
know-
the European Cup
they're
3
much
times.
stronger
in a
than
row.
The thing I
because
hate about that
it's-
modern era kind of thing, it's like that's the same thing people try to say to discredit Liverpool. You've never won the Premier League. Who gives a fuck? We're the second best team in England in terms of titles
the
won.
league is the
Don't
toughest
discredit us
competition,
by
man.
calling it
The
old.
league is the toughest competition, though.
Listen. The only reason
What you talk,
the only reason
that has nothing
distinction
to do with what I said.
the only reason that distinction exists is because the Champions League was made in the 1990s. But if you say European Cup / Champions League, they're not the first team to go 3 in a row. It's obvious.
But the whole point is that in this modern era, there are far more better teams, far more stronger. So the competition is
somebody
stiffer.
will go.
So it's a lot harder to win it now than it was back then.
You know,
Back
it
then,
isn't.
you only had
You know,
only 3 or 4
Never
quality
again.
teams. Right now, what?
Somebody in the future will do the same. It's not the first time somebody won the European Cup. So in the future, it'll happen again.
But the fact that it hasn't happened, so the very fact that this is the first team to do it, give them their props.
Yeah, but
They're not the first team to win Champions League 3 in a row.
Drifty Money and Daniel, which team do you think will win? Which team? Because it will happen in the future. Which team do you think will win 3 in a row?
Nobody knows. I don't know if it's going to rain tomorrow. You're asking me about Champions League.
Because it's easy.
No one said it was easy. And the question was, are they the best club side? And we said that was Barcelona. No one discredited Real Madrid.
No, but why?
My point was the same people. Juju, my point was the same people here that always say La Liga is the best league in the world are trying to now say the Champions League winning 3 times in a row is harder than winning the hardest league in the world, according to them, 4 years in a row. How is it? It doesn't make no sense.
There is no way in hell I'm saying that a league with flipping LJ and reject teams is the hardest league.
You said that. Okay, have hope. Say this then. Say definitive. Which is the best league in the world?
And I never said that. Okay, do you know what I said? Okay, let me respond. It is very difficult to say what is overall the best league. I say La Liga.
You see, he's backtracking. Which is the best league in the world? If you have to choose one,
Can I respond? Thank you. Damn. I said that La Liga has technically the best players, but the Premier League, I feel, is tougher to win. Guardiola himself, your idol, the guy who you pretty much bowed and pray to every single night and every single morning, Guardiola himself said, "Man, yes, the Premier League is a very tough league to win, but the Premier League is not technically as good as La Liga. So really, there are different pros and cons of every league. So overall, we can't see which league is tough.
That's a diplomatic answer. That's a diplomatic answer. I don't care
what anyone says. Winning the La Liga, if you're Barcelona or Real Madrid, winning La Liga is not tough.
50%.
Which is number one? That's what we want to know. Which is the hardest league? The best league, according to you. I don't want to hear. You can categorize everything. You can say Cristiano's a winner.
There's no answer, because we had this discussion about a year ago, and what we realized is that, you know what, there isn't an answer, because there's pros and cons for each league. Because if you now wait, chill. If you now tell me that La Liga is the best league, how the hell do you have teams losing 9-0, 8-0, 7-0? That's embarrassing.
So you're saying it's not?
No, okay. All right. Well, even if it's not the best league, yeah, how comes the team that everybody's saying is better is in the same league and didn't win?
No, yeah, but Roma.
Just answer that. Barcelona did it 4 years in a row in the league that has Real Madrid. So if Real Madrid are so good, why didn't they stop Barcelona?
You're acting like we didn't win La Liga with the highest ever points, and you're acting like we didn't win the Liga last season.
No, but that's not the point.
Right now. Drifty, let me respond.
Are you trying to say that Barcelona is a better club because they won more league titles?
Let me respond to your point. Let me respond to your point. Daniel, chill. Shut the hell up.
I guess Atletico is a better club. Yeah.
Wait. Okay. Look,
let me go after this.
Wait. Look, let me respond to your points, Drifty. Now, my thing is that when I said that based on Real Madrid's achievements, my thing is that they have to now be in the conversation as one of the greatest club sides of all time. And this is the same with the league arguments. There is no one great league. There is no one great club team, because when people say Barcelona are the greatest club side, I'll say, okay, why? How come you never defended the Champions League title? How come you never won the Champions League title three times in a row?
I mean, they got back to the final, didn't they? Or am I thinking of a
no,
different
I don't
side?
think I don't think they were even in back-to-back finals. I don't think they were in back-to-back finals. Like United were, but basically the fact of the matter is that any team you say to me is the greatest, I have a counter argument. Hence why we have to now put them all in the conversation, and then we have the different achievements. Barcelona, yes, based on those 6 trophies, they're in the argument. Real Madrid, based on 3 Champions Leagues in a row and 4 in 5 years, they have to be in the conversation.
No, unquestionably they're in the conversation. But everyone just said, "Do you think they are the best?" And we just said, "No, Barcelona." That was it.
But
Guys,
I'm sorry, I can't agree with Barcelona because how can you say that they're the best if they never defended the Champions League title?
I mean, Carlos Puyol himself yesterday said that Madrid is one of the greatest.
Wait, let him do it.
Sorry, I might disconnected so I couldn't come back until now. And I've heard a lot of bullshit. First of all, this Madrid team just won 5 trophies last year. So the only trophy we didn't win last year was the Copa del Rey. We won everything that Barca team won except for the Copa del Rey.
Exactly. So you weren't better.
No. I'm not even saying we're the best team of all time. I'm just saying, I mean, listening to this hangout, people are pretty much acting that we're not even in the conversation, which is beyond disrespectful.
No one said they're not in the conversation.
Nobody said that. We just said you didn't equal that team.
There are a few Barca fans in here that seem, I don't know, they have a few problems. Secondly, this Madrid team has made 8 Champions League semifinals in a row. 8 I don't know. I think people overlook that point. That's ridiculous. 8 Champions League semifinals in a row. We will probably never.
So what?
4 Champions Leagues in 5 years. When you compare it to Pep's Barca, let's compare it to Pep's Barca. Pep's
How
Barca
many
had
leagues?
an extra 2 La Ligas, right? Perhaps Barca had an extra 2 La Ligas, but this Real Madrid team has an extra 2 Champions Leagues.
Abdul, let me ask you this then.
Would you rather have
ask you this.
Ligas or 2 Champions Leagues?
La Liga. Let me ask you this, Abdul. Is La Liga the best league in the world?
Yes, I do think it's the best league in the world. But
Exactly. So winning four leagues is a less accomplishment. 4 leagues in a row is less of an accomplishment than winning 3 Champions Leagues in the best league in the world. How does that make any sense?
4 Champions Leagues.
Barcelona lost to Roma. It's like
4 Champions Leagues.
Not 4 in a row. You won 3 in a row.
Winning the La Liga is a greater achievement than winning the flipping Champions League.
Listen, he said it's the best. He said it's the best league in the world. Okay, so winning 4 titles in the best league in the world in a row is less than winning 3 Champions Leagues in a row.
By using this argument, you're pretty much downplaying the great Milan team as well, because the great Milan team only won 1 Scudetto. They only won 1 Scudetto, but they won.
That's the point. I think that's the point Man is trying to do. He's trying to discredit. He's trying to say the Champions League.
That Milan team
because Madrid won. Because Madrid won the Champions League now, we don't rate it.
His point is you lot are discrediting the league Madrid playing by saying that it's not an accomplishment to win it 4 times in a row.
Of course not. Exactly. I'd love to win La Liga every year. Of course I would, but I'm just saying, the Champions League is just the most elite competition, guys.
Listen, all I will say, the Champions League is a phenomenal tournament to win. There's no doubt, but everyone knows your bread and butter is the league. If you win the league 4 years in a row and it's the best league in the world, that is the biggest accomplishment.
And the other thing is,
he said it's the best league. I mean, like, where is it said that? Unquestionably, objectively, the La Liga is the best league in the world.
Well, I just heard Real Madrid fans say it's the best league in the world.
No, I do believe it's the best league in the world. First of all, Barca won it 3 times in a row, not 4 times in a row. So that's not true. And secondly, when do we ever see teams that are like? When do we ever see clubs, for example, like I don't know, like just a random club come out and win the Champions League? The only
Arsenal don't even have a Champions League. City don't have a Champions League. People are going for 3 in a row. Some clubs don't even have 1.
Even teams like. Even teams like Arsenal's Invincibles couldn't win it.
They couldn't win it.
Relax. Don't.
I'm not downplaying Arsenal. I'm just saying that's how tough it is.
Relax.
No, listen, the Champions League is extremely tough to win, and no one's discrediting. Do you know what the problem is here? When people ask who do you think's better, red or blue, yeah? When people say blue, everyone thinks you're saying red is shit, and that's where the arguments always get caught up. No one's saying this Real Madrid team isn't good or should be discredited. We were just asked the question and we said it, and because we didn't say Real Madrid, the Real Madrid fans have kicked off. That's all that's happened.
Because your point is the Copa del Rey, and
I know.
But you can't. But then you're discrediting the big biggest cup in Spain, then?
Drifty, my thing is this, and it's very simple. It's like, that's why it's good for us to have this debate, because like, there really isn't an answer, but it's good to have a debate and a back and forth, because you say Barcelona, and I have an issue. I agree, 6 trophies, amazing, but I have an issue that I keep hearing that this is with the greatest team of all time. Why didn't you defend the Champions League title? If you're one of the greatest, why didn't you defend the Champions League title?
Look, honestly, I'm not saying this is the best team of all time. All I'm saying is it's obviously in the conversation. Because listening to the Hangout, honestly, I thought it was disrespectful. I heard a lot.
Let me say something.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, it's a debate, right?
I don't understand why we win. Whenever we win something, we always have to defend the win, which is like
Sad Dragon.
Because it's not very convincing, is it?
Why?
Bro,
why do I have to defend
this is my argument why I picked Barcelona, because when you watch that Barcelona team, it was just flawless.
Okay, so
they just dealt with everything in front of them. They were untouchable.
Why didn't they defend the best of all time title? If they were so flawless, why didn't they defend their Champions League title?
We're not going to ignore 09. Like that was 09 against Chelsea. I mean,
that was the biggest robbery of all time. It's a fucking disgrace for you all know. Sorry to say.
That was a
and why can't Real Madrid win 3 league titles in a row? Why can't they do that?
Wait,
in the best league in the world, according to Abdul, the best league in the world, you can't do it 3 times in a row. If they're better than that Barcelona team.
People are saying this year we weren't as dominant, which is fair enough. That's a fair point. Do you remember what happened last year? Everyone gassed that Juve team, and those guys got hit for 4.
I did it. I knew they were going to lose.
Hit for 3. Bayern got outplayed both games. The ref kept them in the game. That's the thing people won't even say. People bring up the refereeing mistakes. If it wasn't for refereeing mistakes, Bayern don't even stay in that tie. Same thing with Napoli, a Napoli team that was very good in Serie. So we were very convincing last year, and we won La Liga. We won 5 trophies. The only difference between our team last year and the Barca team from 09 is a Copa del Rey. That's the only.
So exactly, you didn't equal them. There you go. Thank you.
Let me just make this point on league titles, because I don't want to shout over everyone, but everyone's talking about league titles are most important. League titles are where you're winning most games against teams lower down in the division. The Champions League is the elite of the elite, based on the best teams from Germany, Spain,
Champions League is a cup game.
It's consistency. Yes, it's consistency. You need to be the best team over 38 games. Yeah, that's great. But teams like Man City and Barcelona, who are the best at beating teams in a low block, yeah, okay, well done. You're beating the best team. You're beating all the teams in the league and getting the most points. But when it comes to the Champions League, you're facing the best teams in the whole world.
Based on what he said,
it's the Champions.
Let me raise a question.
Based on what he said,
Wait, man, chill. I want to bring other guys into it. So, Sad Dragon, you've not spoken, so I want to bring you in. Sad Dragon, speak on it.
Right. So I think people like to guss up the Madrid Champions League victory so much. How come, like, the teams in like Germany and Bundesliga, the Premier League teams, even Barcelona have all been on the decline, and back then they were much harder teams. Like the Italian sides, the Premier Leagues were at the primes.
Can I please reply to that?
Yep.
2014, Pep's Bayern got slapped 5-0. In the final, the champions of Spain, Atletico Madrid, a team that came back to the final 2 years later again. And in 2015, we obviously didn't win. 2016, I'm not going to lie, that wasn't a tough route. Like, I'd be lying if I said that was a tough route to the final, but we did face Atletico in the final and we did win it. Last year, Napoli, very good Italian side, Bayern, Atletico Madrid, and that Simeone Atletico Madrid side that has been
a good team.
That Atletico Madrid side has been in Europe every single year. This year they won the Europa. Last year, semis. Before that, Champions League final. Before that, quarters. Before that, Champions League final. Like they before that, they won the Europa. They won like 2 Europas.
They're still not on the same level.
There's really no way. There's really no way.
You know what's funny? If you combine our last 3 Champions League seasons and make it a league, we win that league.
Yeah, and
listen,
based on our results.
There's no way you can.
I'm just laughing at this opinion right now.
You know why you can't win this? You know why you can't win this? It's simple. It's simple. You can't win this because if you say Champions League is harder, if the league is easier, why the heck can't you win? If you can do the hardest competition 3 times in a row, why can't you do the league, the easy?
Why can't you win back-to-back
3 times in a row?
Why can't you win back-to-back Champions Leagues?
No, but no, he's got that. He made a good point though. If the Champions League is harder than the league, why can't you win the league?
Why can't you win back-to-back Champions Leagues?
Drifty.
You are better in cup
No,
competition.
but now that's just being childish and tit for tat. It's a legit question. If the league is easier than the Champions League, why didn't they do it?
I mean, no, look, it is a legit question, but it's like, no, for basically, I get what you're saying. It's like 100%. If the Champions League is harder than the league, then Real Madrid should be winning the league. And my thing is, I've always said, look, for Real Madrid, man, you are flopped in the league. But at the end of the day, you have a president who really sees this team as a marquee team where the Champions League is a competition. This is where all the eyes are on. This is the biggest prize. Really, our focus is on winning this. And I believe that there's a sentiment amongst the players, Zidane and everything in that dressing room is that, yeah, we'd want to win the league. Yeah, we won the Copa del Rey, but no, the Champions League is where we really have to turn up and really appear. And my thing is that, look, let me ask you guys this. Which would you rather have? A league title or a Champions League title? Be honest to yourself. If you're a player, no, wait. Let me land. Be honest, because now don't be fake now. If you're a professional football player and we know about what the competition is and the history is, which would you rather have? A league title or league titles or Champions League titles? Be real.
As a Liverpool fan, I would rather have a league title.
Drifty, what the hell?
No, I won the Champions League as a fan, and it was a great feeling. But I don't think anything can be a better feeling than winning the league.
Drifty, not as a Liverpool fan, as a player.
Premier League.
If you were a player,
nothing is better than winning the Premier League.
Honestly, Premier League.
Guardiola. Even Guardiola said that. Guardiola himself said that if he had a choice to decide Champions League or Premier League, this second you choose Premier League. It could go at Champions League, the group stage. That's what he said.
We won the Champions League, the only team in London to do so. Just saying, by the way.
I mean, I'm going to drop a bombshell on you guys. The world doesn't revolve around the Premier League. Yeah, it's not even like let's be honest. Spain wins all the European competitions.
To be, I'm not what you're saying. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, but considering the Premier League is the most watched league in the world, I think it kind of does revolve around the Premier League. Really, when you think about it.
Andrew, I'm gonna drop a bombshell on you too. I'm gonna drop a bombshell on you. Premier League is the most watched football competition in the world. And in terms of leagues, other than the World Cup, regular is the most watched.
That's not the question Double H was asking. Can we not get to this debate again? We talk about this every weekend. Like the question was, if you were a footballer, what would you rather win, the league or the Champions League? If you were,
I would rather win the league.
Okay. Wait. So that's just okay. So we have order. We'll go this time from right to left now. So the question is this: if you're a professional football player, which would you rather have, league titles or Champions League titles? I'll start off with Dragoon. League titles or Champions League titles if you're a professional football player. Dragoon.
I would probably rather have Champions League titles.
Based on what? Why?
I think just the level of competition, the pressure is raised even more. You can't have winning the leagues in Juve won't feel the same as winning the Champions League over and over again.
All right, Rahimski.
I would rather win the Champions League because of the nature of the competition. It's a knockout competition. If you make a vital mistake, especially in the later stages, you can't win the competition. So,
all right, Juju man.
Easily Champions League. Like the name, champions, a league of champions. Everyone is a champion in that league. So you want the league.
Let's please let him finish.
Everyone is elite in the Champions League. You don't get all these relegation teams. So you cannot. People cannot say, "Oh, it's harder to win La Liga." You're facing teams that don't even have water, and then the other teams is the other teams is the champions. They're the champions. Like these are the best teams in that league. That's why it's the Champions League. I mean, easily Champions League.
The debate's over. It's obviously the Champions League, man. You come to a climax, you ejaculate, you win the Champions League, done, said and done. It's
look, it's very simple. If this Madrid team won 3 La Ligas in a row, but 1 Champions League, I don't think we would be talking about them as one of the best teams ever.
Saying that means La Liga is a nothing league. So thank you.
As a player, which would rather have, Champions League or league, and explain which one.
First of all, the question is quite subjective because if I play in Greece or Holland, I'd rather win the Champions League. If I play in the elite competition, which is La Liga or the Premier League, I would rather win the league. It is the bread and butter It's a marathon, not a sprint. And let's be honest, regardless of whether the Champions League's amazing, don't get me wrong, but cup competition is a lot easier to strategize for and to plan for than the league. The league
would you have had this
one day after the other?
Let him finish.
The league is week after week. Every single team he plays completely different style. It's all over the place. You have to go through different conditions with weather, dealing with the league is definitely the harder thing to win.
That's why Bayern are going for the 7th. I know, man.
Okay. Abdul, your turn now. So if you're
one last point,
league title or Champions League title.
Yeah, one last point. I think what people are trying to say here is that the Champions League, you can, tactics and all that, and you can get far and stuff like that. But if that was the case, I think we can all agree that Madrid, Barca, and Bayern have been the most successful clubs and the best clubs in the world over the last decade. Why do you think 8 out of the last 10 Champions Leagues were won by those 3 clubs? If it was just if it wasn't really about the best teams, if it wasn't really about the best teams, then those 3 clubs shouldn't win 8 out of 10.
Well, it's because they're not competing in the hardest league in the world, so that's why.
Okay. So Abdul, you're saying Champions League rather than the league if you're a player?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, A1.
Easily Champions League, man. Easily Champions League. I know league. I think Champions League obviously is a bigger competition as well. You've got all the best teams in Europe from the leagues together. It's easily Champions League, man.
All right,
easily.
Mane. Oh, thank God. All right, so look, man. So just to round it off, man. Look, man. It is what it is. I thought that Liverpool acquitted themselves well. They can't be embarrassed by how they fared against Real Madrid, and it's painful because those mistakes. Because the thing is that it's about what would have happened if Salah had stayed, if Karius wasn't such a break. At the end of the day, you allowed these guys to win 3 in a row, and you can say everything you want to talk down. That is a very powerful argument that Real Madrid fans now have, and you allowed them to have it. So it's your fault, guys. Peace out. I'll see you next week. Peace.